Greetings and welcome to Cyber Focus, your source for timely international business information. My name is Jimmy Bettcher, and our guest today is Dr. Paul Pounder. Dr. Pounder is a lecturer at the University of West Indies and the Cave Hill School of Business. Dr. Pounder, welcome.
Welcome, thank you.
For our viewers not familiar with the University of the West Indies and Cave Hill School of Business, could you tell us a little bit more about the universities and the program?
Okay, the University of the West Indies they have three campuses, one in Mona in Jamaica, Cave Hill campus in Barbados, which is the one that I teach at,
Okay.
and then there's St. Augustine in Trinidad. Now, on each of these campuses, they all specialize in one particular area or another. The one in Trinidad usually specializes in the area of engineering and the agricultural side. However, they also do all the other courses in terms of management and English and the other social studies types courses. In Barbados, that campus specializes in law, and they've just built a new medical faculty. And the one in Mona, the area that they're specializing is medicine, but they also do all the other courses as well in management studies and so on.
Great. Could you tell us a little bit more about some of the teachers that some of the classes that you teach at the Cave Hill campus?
Okay, at the university, I'm in the Department of Management Studies. I lecture in the management department. I do courses in entrepreneurship. Basically, I'm teaching students how to identify an opportunity based on selecting a good idea, helping them to commercialize on it. I also teach students in the area of operations management, helping them take the idea through the entire process, whether it's a product or a service. And then I also do master's courses in project management, teaching project evaluation, project analysis, project identification, and so on.
Great. On the topic of entrepreneurship, could you share a little bit more about what entrepreneurship looks like in Barbados and the West Indies?
Okay, so in the Caribbean, there are lots of entrepreneurs. Some persons are serial entrepreneurs, in other words, they have more than one entrepreneurship business, so they have a series of businesses that they actually facilitate services or manufacturing of products. We also have some very small micro entrepreneurs, persons in the cottage industry, so maybe in the area of basket weaving, or they probably manufacture some of these indigenous products that we export a lot of, so like pepper sauces, seasonings, maybe guava jellies, guava jams. And then we have some that are a little bit bigger, maybe running things like restaurants, because tourism is a very big part of our foreign exchange earnings. So we have a lot of companies that operate in the area of tourism, facilitating tourists to the island, either staying long stay or the short stay tourists that come on the cruise ships.
What are some of the key challenges and opportunities you see for entrepreneurs in Barbados?
Well, the challenges are typically the same across the globe. Normally, the first thing they will tell you is that they lack finance. Okay, so they have cash flow issues. Sometimes they have issues in terms of managing their personnel, managing their employees, so the employees not being as productive as they're supposed to or as they would expect them to be. Sometimes it might be issues in the area of sourcing raw materials or the supply chain, being able to pass the raw materials through a process to a finished product and then getting it to the customer in a timely fashion. So there might be hiccups along the way, maybe bottlenecks or something to that effect. Also, there are issues in terms of marketing. Sometimes they have a good product, but they're not sure exactly how to get it to the customer or how to tweak it in a way or customize it in a way that the customer would actually choose it or prefer it over another competing product.
Okay. Any major opportunities do you see or anything?
Well, there are always tons of opportunities. Of course, you need to make sure that you can identify them.
Sure.
But there are always opportunities. What I would suggest is that you try to set up your business in an area that the government supports. Okay, so maybe something along the tourism sector, because we spend a lot of money trying to attract tourists to Barbados. One of the other things that government puts a lot of their budget towards is foreign direct investment. So maybe the identification of an international business that you can bring to Barbados. We have a very highly educated population, so something on the high end as opposed to at the low end where it's data processing, but something where you would need somebody to facilitate some brain power or what have you to help in development of your business venture.
You've had an opportunity to interact with some entrepreneurs here in Indiana. I was wondering if you could share some of your general impressions of what entrepreneurship looks like in Indiana and maybe compare it back to what entrepreneurship looks like back in Barbados.
Okay, yes, we've met quite a few entrepreneurs here in Indiana, and it's quite an exciting experience to see where they came from. A lot of them actually endured university classes and so on, so they had the foundation to actually start the business. So they, even though they might not have done business classes, they might have been in history or politics, but they had the foundation in that they were able to do studying and research and so on, and they were exposed to the right core competencies in terms of commitment and dedication to running a business. So we found that a lot of them had that. We also visited one of the tech incubators, and I found that the companies there, they also too had a good foundation in that they were built on technologies that were developed at the university. So there were things that might have been patented, or a professor might have come up with a new way to make a particular item, or to make it smaller or faster or something. So there was an existing model that they were looking at building on, and I found that there were lots of support services being offered by your incubator program. So you had good consultants helping filling some of the gaps, because some of the entrepreneurs were quite keen on their products, but they might not have known as much about marketing or the hiring and the screening process, or maybe even searching for financiers. And I thought that a lot of your programs at the Incubator Center and the Innovation Center supported the entrepreneurs really, really well.
What would you say your key takeaways or learnings from these interactions have been, and your time here in Bloomington as well?
Well, one of the key things that I noticed that is the link between the university and the innovation centers, the link between the innovation centers and the lecturers. The entrepreneurs tended to work together, so there were clusters of entrepreneurs in the same field. So if you were in technology, there were clusters of people in technology. If you were in medical sciences, there were clusters of persons in medical sciences, so you can actually share the information among your peers. Okay, so I thought that was quite interesting. One of the other things that I noticed too is that you in Indiana, or through the university, a lot of emphasis was placed on the passion of the entrepreneur. So once you identified a person that had a passion for a particular idea, then you can easily quite groom them with the marketing or the HR skills or the financing skills. So I thought that those two things were quite important, and maybe things that we can take back home to help facilitate the entrepreneurs in Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean.
That's certainly very interesting. Earlier in our conversation, you had mentioned foreign direct investment. If, let's say, you have a business person here in Indiana who's interested in either starting a business in Barbados or investing in a business in Barbados, do you have any advice for them?
Sure. Barbados is an emerging economy. It's quite attractive for foreign direct investment. In fact, we have laws, double taxation laws that are attractive to businesses setting up, especially in the offshore sector. I'm not sure if you are quite familiar with the offshore sector, but basically a company can come to the region or to Barbados. They can develop their business. They can trade, but they can't trade within Barbados. Okay, so the funds are coming in. Okay, we can tax them at probably a lower rate, but the services and the products are actually sold off the island. So what I would suggest that people do, maybe come and have a look at the island first. So maybe your first visit could be a vacation. Of course, you come with your idea in the back of your mind. You can do some surveys, some research, maybe through the university, to test to see if there's a market for your particular idea, for your particular product or service. And then I would say the easiest way in is probably through a joint venture, because you would obviously have issues in relation to culture. It might be language, maybe not so much language for Indiana, but depending on the product or the service that you're bringing, language, but definitely culture. Culture would be an issue, and you want to make sure that you align yourself with a local entrepreneur, maybe 20%, 25% at the beginning, to the point where you're looking to harvest your opportunity.
Well, Dr. Pounder, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciated the insights that you've offered, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your time here in Bloomington.
Okay, thank you for having me. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you learned something about the important international and entrepreneurial work of the Kelley School of Business. If you have topics that you'd like to discuss in future cyber focuses, please contact the Center for International Business Education and Research here at the Kelley School. Thank you.